Okay, hot off the press is the government's advice on home moving during the COVID-19 outbreak. This has just been issued, and at long last, the government has put on paper some advice that's going to help those looking to move home and also conveyancers. The advice is as follows. The good news is that there's no need for clients to pull out of transactions, but priority must be given to health, not only of the individual concerned, but the public in general. Home buyers and renters should, where possible, delay moving to a new house while measures are still in place to fight COVID-19, in other words, the lockdown. If the property is vacant, then the government is happy for the transaction to proceed to a completion, providing the guidelines they've issued on removals are followed. If you've already exchanged contracts on a transaction where the property is occupied, then the government expects the parties to work together to try and agree a delay or another way of resolving the matter. And if that's not possible because of contractual reasons, then the government says that the completion can still take place, providing people follow advice and staying away from others to minimise the spread of the virus. If you've not yet exchanged contract, or your client hasn't exchanged contract, and the property is unoccupied, then as I've said, that can go through to completion. If the property is occupied, then the government expects the parties to try and either delay the exchange until the lockdown has come to an end, or to exchange but to have provisions within the contract to address risks associated with COVID-19. Importantly, the government says that anyone with symptoms, self-isolating or shielding from the virus, they should follow medical advice and not move home, which makes sense. All parties should give priority to agreeing amicable arrangements to change move dates for individuals who have the virus or who are in isolation. You might ask yourself, what's the position with regard to mortgages? Well, again, the guidance helps. The guidance says that an agreement has been reached. All mortgage lenders are working to find ways to enable customers who have exchanged contracts to extend their mortgage offer for up to 3 months to enable them to move the completion date to a later date. So in summary, there's no reason why conveyancers cannot continue with transactions. If the transaction involves an unoccupied property, then there's no reason why contracts cannot be exchanged and completion can take place in the normal way. If the property is occupied, then every effort should be made to try and agree an alternative completion date. If that's not possible, then the contract applies and the parties are able to complete the transaction provided they follow the necessary guidelines. In terms of removals, the government has said that those commitments that have already been made should be honoured. Government urges everyone to take all sensible precautions to ensure the move can happen safely. And removers really should only honour their existing commitments where it's clear that the move can be done safely for the client and your own staff, or their own staff rather, and it's clear that the moving date cannot be moved. So nothing really has changed too much from the position that was outlined in summary form a few days ago. I hope this update is of